Today is Rest and Restore. It's a Yoga Nidra meditation. So meditation that's very guided, designed to increase balance in all of the layers and really get us into that deep rest, that rest and restore, releasing of fight or flight. So before we start, I'm going to show you some hints for propping. So traditionally it's taken on your back. If you're not 100% comfortable on your back, feel free to adjust and get into the most comfortable position you can really release tension in. So in the studio, we often set up the props like this. So we have the big bolster for under the knees. If you have short legs like I do, you're gonna place something for your feet. So I also have a fairly deep curve in my back, and I have a tendency to flatten my back to the ground when I'm on the ground. So I'm adding an extra little blanket, just a little bit, underneath my low back, so I can have that natural curve without flattening it. My feet are not flapping in space. So if I had my leg here, it would just be hanging off. It wouldn't touch the ground. So I'm giving my foot something to rest on so that it knows where the ground is. My legs are nice and soft, something under my low back. So when I come down, adjust and wiggle, this studio we have these headrests. A lot of people use these. So if you're used to laying down with a pillow and this feels super comfortable for you, try this. I prefer to have something under my neck, a little neck pillow, and a little just something light underneath my head. So take your time to really get into a resting position. So everything is comfortable. Wiggle around. Use your blanket because your body temperature, even if you're not hot now, does get cooler. You do cool off, so you want a blanket, something comforting over you. So take your time to adjust and get into a resting pose, an actual resting pose. You may want to make use of an eye pillow. Take your time getting to know your environment before you close your eyes. So one of the best ways to turn off fight or flight is to let us know where we are and what is in our environment so we know what not to be startled by. So for us today, there is a lot of noise downstairs from the guys downstairs. So take your time getting to know the sounds in the environment. Know that you may hear some loud sounds from the guys downstairs. If you like to have something grounding in your hands, little rocks in your hands, don't forget you can use those too. It can help you just release tension, give you something to feel grounded with. Taking a look around your room, really get to know where you are. And then start to release into the support of your props. Really start to tell your body that it is supported. Tell your hips that they're supported. Tell your skull it's supported. So all the muscles that hold your head and hold your hips up, start to release and soften. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths in and sigh out of the mouth, really starting to release tension from the body and land on the mat. So when we lay down in these meditative poses, when we're guided through these meditative poses, a lot of people can be kind of afraid they're going to fall asleep or embarrassed that they fall asleep. So give yourself permission to do what your body needs. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. It's not the end of the world. Also, if you can say to yourself, this is a meditative practice, I'm going to rest but remain alert, can help you stay present. But also know that most often, especially when I do this in the studio with a lot of people, you think you're asleep, but when I call you back, you're not actually asleep because you come back. Everybody tends, very rare that anybody has not risen when the meditation is over. So you may feel like you've drifted away and that I'm far away and my guiding is far away, but you may just be in that resting place that you're supposed to be in. So we're going to work on the wheels of light, chakra energy centers today. You don't need to believe in them. You don't need to have a strict belief on what they are, what they represent. We're just going to use our imagination to bring our focus to these places, these points where we actually have nerve bundles on our spine. And we're going to do a little visual meditation and then just imagine opening, releasing. So begin to land really in the physical body and watch your breath for just a little bit. And then slowly begin to release control of the breath. Let the breath begin to run naturally in the body. If you have an intention you would like to work with, you can whisper it to yourself right now as you start to go in. An intention is a little truth vow to your innermost truth. Make it positive, short, precise, and you say it to yourself as if you already believe it true, the way that you would to a dear friend. For example, if you want to work with self-worth, you would say to yourself, I am worthy. If you want to work with health, you would say to yourself, I am healthy. Short, precise, without negatives. And then we'll begin with a rotation of consciousness through the physical body, just filling up our awareness into one point at a time in the physical body. So become aware of the right hand. Find the right hand thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Back of the right hand, palm of the right hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit. Travel down the rib cage, a rib at a time. Find the space between the rib cage and the hip. Right hip, thigh, kneecap, lower leg, ankle, heel, arch, ball of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Become entirely aware of the right side of the body, as if turning on the light to each and every cell on the right side of the body, arriving home. Gently switch your awareness over to the left hand. Find the left hand thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit. Travel down the rib cage, a rib at a time. Find the space between the rib cage and the hip. Left hip, thigh, kneecap, lower leg, ankle, heel, arch, ball of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Become entirely aware of the left side of the body, as if arriving home, finding the left side of the body. And we'll gently move left and right sides. Left big toe, right big toe, left foot, right foot, both feet, left heel, right heel, both heels, left ankle, right ankle, both ankles, back of the left knee, back of the right knee, back of both knees, left hip, right hip, cross the hips, left lower back, right lower back, cross the back, back of the left rib cage, back of the right rib cage, cross the ribs, left shoulder blade, right shoulder blade, cross the shoulders, left arm, right arm, both arms, left ear, right ear, the space in between the ears, left eye, right eye, both eyes and the space in between. And then gently fall back from your eyes as if softening into peripheral vision and then falling into the center of the mind. Allow space for whatever is present here to be present here. Noticing that you can notice your thoughts. And then perhaps noticing a little space in between the thoughts. And then we'll move on to the energetic layer of the body. So begin to connect with our spinal highway. This movement of energy that begins in the brain and comes down the spine and out throughout the body and then back up the spine. This constant network of energy moving, information moving from the brain to the body, from the body to the brain. And you can visualize this scientifically, thinking about the nerves. Or you can visualize this as a little tube with an energy flowing up and down. You can give your energy a color, colors, a temperature. Begin to connect with this energy that moves from the brain down the spine and all the way back up again. And as you begin to connect with it, imagine it flowing a little more freely. Imagine it free of misaligned bones and tension. Imagine this freely moving, fresh energy moving up and down the spine. And then begin to imagine a little soft opening at the crown of the head. And just above you is a little ball of energy that contains precisely what you need in this moment without cognitively thinking of what that might be. Imagine you could reach your little energy stream that runs up and down the spine and through the brain out to connect with this cloud of energy above you, like plugging into an outlet and recharging. Imagine your spinal highway moving with more fresh energy, moving more freely, pulsating with more fresh life. And then gently imagine unplugging from your cloud of energy and just returning to your own spinal highway, feeling more vitalized, Feeling fresh energy moving from the brain down the spine and all the way back up again. And then we'll move on to the practice of opposites. Bringing in the opposite sensations and practicing feeling sensations in the physical body. So we begin to bring in the sensation of heaviness. Imagining that your body is filling with heaviness, as if your body was becoming filled with lead. Your toes become heavy, your feet are heavy, your legs are heavy. Fingers, hands, arms getting heavier and heavier. Your whole body feels deeply weighted and grounded onto the ground. Feeling heavier and heavier. Feeling so heavy that if a storm were to blow in, you wouldn't budge. You're so deeply grounded and weighted on the ground. And then begin to invite in the opposite sensation. The sensation of lightness. Feeling soft and light and airy. Fingers become soft and light. Hands, arms, toes, feet, and legs all so soft and light as if they were filled with air. Feeling softer and softer and lighter and lighter. As if you could soften away and drift away on the softest breeze. And then gently invite in the possibility of feeling both of these sensations at the same time. Feeling both softness and lightness and heaviness at the same time. Feeling floaty and weighted at the same time. Feeling heavy and light at the same time. gently return your focus to the center of the mind. Again, allowing space for whatever is present here. Notice that you can notice your thoughts. And if you can notice your thoughts, perhaps there's something a little more than just your thoughts. Take a little journey with our imagination. So try to paint in the details as much as possible. The more that you paint in the details with your mind, the more effective the practice will be. So try to bring yourself right into painting in details like you're making a beautiful piece of artwork. Very strong visual representation in your mind. You're going to see yourself laying down on the mat here in this moment. Imagine you could peek through and you could see that energetic highway moving, seeing it moving fresh energy up and down the spine. Maybe it has colors or multiple colors. See yourself glowing with this fresh energy moving up and down your spine. And then we're going to think about the energetic centers, and we're going to know that there is an energetic center in each spot that we focus on, and that it reaches up and also down. And it has a back and a front. So land right on the tailbone. And from the tailbone, you begin to see a beautiful red flower beginning to blossom and bloom. It's growing and glowing and reaching towards the light, full of fresh energy and fresh life, this beautiful red flower. And as you watch it bloom, begin to connect with its roots that are also reaching down into the soil below, drawing strength and nutrients from the darkness of the earth below, grounding down and reaching up and growing towards the light. This beautiful red flower. Begin to connect with the concept of being grounded and at home in this physical body in this moment in time. Perhaps even saying to yourself, right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. And gently walk your attention up the spine to the navel. And right here you see a beautiful orange flower growing and blossoming and reaching towards the light. The more that it reaches and blossoms towards the light, you're aware that it is also reaching down and grounding down, finding its nutrients in the earth below. Paint in the details of your beautiful orange flower. Take the time to say to yourself, I'm free to be creative. Walk your attention up the spine to right at the solar plexus space, just underneath the rib cage. And from here, see a beautiful, bright, sunshine yellow flower beginning to blossom and bloom, glowing with fresh life and energy and reaching up towards the light, while knowing that its roots secure it deeply down into the earth's soil, growing and blossoming. Paint in the details of your beautiful yellow flower. And here say to yourself, I allow my emotions to flow freely. And gently walk your intention up your spine to the center of the chest. And here see a beautiful green flower blossoming, growing, expanding with life, connecting to its roots, connecting it down into the earth and the nutrients below, reaching down into the darkness while it expands into the light. This beautiful green flower. Connect to this beautiful flower growing and expanding and bursting, filled with life. Paint in the details of its beauty. And here say to yourself, I love myself unconditionally. Notice if that's difficult to say, believe, and feel. And maybe you need to repeat it a couple of times in the way in which you would like to see someone you care very deeply about to truly believe that they are unconditionally lovable. Gently walk your attention up to the center of the throat. And here see a beautiful blue flower growing and blossoming, expanding towards the light. Knowing that it's reaching down and grounding into the earth below, reaching down into the darkness and then growing and expanding towards the light. This beautiful blue flower. Connect to the flower's beauty. And say to yourself, I am free to speak my truth. And then gently walk your attention to the very center of the brain. And here, see a beautiful purple flower growing, expanding, blossoming towards the light. Growing down into the earth, into the darkness, while expanding towards the light. Beautiful purple flower with many petals, growing and blossoming, filled with fresh life. And here, say to yourself, I trust my intuition. And then from the crown of the head, a beautiful violet flower. Bright and brilliant, glowing with light. Grounding down into the earth below while it reaches out towards the light. See your beautiful flower at the crown of your head. Paint in the details. And here say to yourself, we are spiritually connected. Take a look at yourself with your beautiful flowers all blooming. red at your tailbone, orange at the navel, yellow at the solar plexus, green at the chest, blue at the throat, purple in the center of the brain. And your beautiful connected spiritual flower on the crown of your head. See yourself as this beautiful, glowing, energetic being filled with life. And then draw your attention back to the center of the mind. Again, allowing a little pause for whatever is present here. And then we'll practice of rapid visualization. Practicing allowing something to come to mind. So as I say something, allow a vision to come to your mind. See it, observe it without judgment, without worry if it's right or wrong. Just see the image and then allow it to sweep by. Practicing allowing things to come in and pass through without attachment. We begin with a single bumblebee. Leaves blowing in the wind. A far distant planet. The face of someone you love. A herd of elephants. Single candle in a very dark room. Children playing. Diving into the deep blue ocean. Walking barefoot in the sand. The face of a mentor. Birds migrating. Field of sunflowers. Single feather. Sacred temple. Sitting in meditation. See yourself sitting in meditation. Observe yourself sitting in meditation. Before coming back from your deeply restful space, bring to mind your truth vow, your intention from the beginning of practice, and say it to yourself as if planting a seed in fertile soil, believing it will take root. Say it with kindness, compassion, and conviction, the way that you would to a dear loved one. Slowly come back into the room in present moment in time, and before becoming too cognitive, trust in your body's own intuition and breathe in deeply and take whichever stretch and lengthening and wiggling your body feels is right in this moment. So from this place of deep rest, there can be often a lot of clicking and resetting. Trust in your body's intuition to move in precisely the way you need to move. Take this moment without being too cognitive. Allow your body to move and lengthen and open. And bringing gentle wiggles to the toes. Start to really land back on the ground and come back as slowly as we went in. So feel the ground, begin to connect with the weight of the blanket. Sensation of the air, the temperature of the air in the room. The sounds in your environment. And slowly make your way over to a fetal position, curled up in a ball on whatever side is calling to you. Keeping your eyes closed for a little moment longer and really drawing all of your awareness into heart center. Taking the time to perhaps imagine visually, not cognitively, having walls around our heart center or weights of burdens we're carrying around our heart center. And imagine giving your heart permission to let go of some of these burdens. Permission to be ready to drop what is ready to be processed, what is ready to be let go of. Imagine it landing on the mat and your heart feeling lighter and lighter. And come on up to a seated position, trying to keep your eyes closed and still that soft, not quite there sensation. Bring your hands to prayer and then rub them together and make them really, 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 really warm. And then place them over your eyes and feel the warmth of your hands on your eyes. Around your eyes, as if the warmth of your hands could soften any tension around your eyes. Imagine breathing in the warmth right into your eyes, as if drawing in mental clarity. And then as if slowly peeking out, slowly adjusting your eyes to the light, blinking slowly, softly, and kindly, opening your eyes and softening back into the light in the room as if peeking out at something you're not supposed to be looking at. Soft peeks. And then eventually bring your eyes to an open, softening in, arriving softly and kindly. And warm your hands again and bring them over your throat wherever is comfortable. And if this is too much for you, you can have your hands just above your skin and just imagine feeling the warmth of your hands on your throat. Imagine the warmth of your hands could soften any further tension in the throat. Make more room for your breath. And then rub your hands together again. We're going to bring them over our chest, one at a time on the heart center. And imagine the warmth of your hands could soften any further tension resting across the shoulders. Making even more space for our breath to pause. Removing tension around the chest. While resting in this space, I'm going to repeat an ancient mantra in my favorite translation. So imagine you could hear it from your heart center rather than the cognitive mind. And if you're familiar with it, feel free to repeat out loud with a loud, strong, and kind voice. Om Namah Shivaya. With great respect and love, I honor my own heart. Om Namah Shivaya. With great respect and love, I honor my own heart. Om Namah Shivaya. With great respect and love, I honor my own heart. And bring your hands to prayer at heart space. And take a moment to really connect with bringing your left and right sides to meet in front of your heart. This gesture of accepting yourself as whole and complete, precisely as you are. May you find moments throughout your day to feel like a connected, glowing, spiritual being full of life. Thank you for joining me. And with these practices, sometimes some stuff can get stirred up, emotional stuff maybe that we're ready to process. We don't need to cognitively concern ourselves too much. Try not to let the brain get wound up in it. Sometimes emotions come up for no reason. They're just stuff ready to be processed. So try not to obsess over the thoughts. Emotions flow freely. It's only when the brain goes down and gets stuck in the emotions that it's problematic. So throughout the practice, throughout the day, if you're having trouble feeling grounded, you feel a little airy, a little off, grab some earth, hold on to it. Go outside, do something grounding. So go outside, look at the light, see the light, maybe walk barefoot in the wet grass, whatever you can do to make yourself feel a little grounded and connected. Maybe just hanging out in child's pose for a moment and letting the emotions flow freely. It's an important part of the process. All of these processes in yoga are designed to help us process, move, explore, and learn to let emotions and thoughts flow as they flow without disturbing the whole system too much. So thank you.